బట్ ఒక 15 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం మరి పాన్ ఇండియా అనేది లేనప్పుడే ఒక చిన్న మార్కెట్ని నమ్ముకుని మీరు హౌ డిడ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ దీస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ లార్జ్ స్కేల్ ఫిల్మ్?
We thought we were we were attempting the first of its kind in the country, because even in 2009 we always knew that we will make this film.
Bonding between you and Prabhas, how it like?
He's one of those genuinely nice guys that he really likes to host people.
Yeah. So actually all the people of India are waiting for the Salar Part 2 to witness the ruthless Varadaraja Mannar. When will the shoot happen?
Very soon.
Very soon.
We are starting in
in this film the female lead is Amala.
Yeah.
Is there any specific reason to cast her, or generally
like that way for Sainu? We wanted somebody who was very beautiful in a very Kerala kind of a way, Amala's okay, now she's taking a break from cinema because she's pregnant and she's about to give.
Hi, hello viewers, welcome to NTV. This video is brought to you by Pranava Group, presenting the future. Now we have with our very own Rajamannar. I want to say one thing to you, sir. You are really a goat, greatest of all time.
No,
because I have the explanation for that as well. Because ఒక్క సినిమాని నమ్మి దట్ 16 years ఆఫ్ యువర్ కెరీర్లో అంటే అన్వేవరింగ్ సపోర్ట్తో దాన్ని చేసి దాన్ని థియేటర్స్కి తీసుకొచ్చి ఇంత ప్రమోట్ చేస్తున్నారు చూసారు అక్రాస్ ద ఇండియా. ఒక్క విషయం చాలు మిమ్మల్ని జియో 80 అని పిలవడానికి. యాక్చువల్గా
I'm just trying the best I can, and I consider it a privilege to be able to have traveled with creating something like this for 16 years. And it's not very often that, as an actor or as an artist in general, that you have the opportunity to participate in the creation of something as special as the Goat Life. So for me, I think if anything I should feel thankful for being able to for being given the responsibility of fronting a film like this. Of course, all this is only possible by the man who actually led this, the director, bless his sir. And even beyond that, we are all sitting here and talking about a film like this because the real Najib actually lived this life.
Yes.
It is the film is a true story, like and the book, the film, everything happened because of that one man. Yeah.
Hi Jimmy.
Hi.
Welcome to India, welcome to Telugu, welcome to Tollywood.
Thank you.
These many welcomes for you.
Thank
because you are a pan-world actor. You acted in European films and Nigerian films and Chinese films, and now this is the Indian film.
Yeah.
So as an American citizen, but you have achieved this much of.
I didn't choose this one. This one chose me. Actually, to be direct, he chose me. That's how I got to be in this one. But at the same time, I always wanted to do something with, I would say, Bollywood. Forgive my when I say that. When I say Bollywood, you have to understand that outside of India, the Indian cinema is considered Bollywood.
Yes.
But now I know better. So I've always wanted to do an Indian project, and I landed this one. And the reason why is that, in my life, in my normal life, I've lived in a lot of places. I lived in all corners of the world. So that's why when I was in Hollywood and I started to have a little bit of success on TV and on film, I started to have the same kind of mentality. What if what I can do in Hollywood, I can achieve it in different parts of the world where I've lived? Okay. That's what actually started the whole thing, So with the level of success I've had, I went back to France, started to work in France and in England, and then I went to Africa. I worked in Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Morocco, and then South America, Mexico, Brazil, and China and Indonesia, and now somehow being introduced to the Indian audience with the Goat Life. So very happy to be part of this particular production, because it's an amazing story, life story, and an amazing movie as well.
Sir, యాక్చువల్గా 15 మిమ్మల్ని సార్ అని పిలుస్తాను నేను, ఎందుకంటే ద వే ఆఫ్ అంటే మీ యాక్టింగ్ కానీ మీరు చేసే డైరెక్షన్ చేస్తూ ఒక పక్క ఇన్ని చేయాలంటే ఒక మనిషికి చాలా ప్యాషన్, అంటే సినిమా నాట్ ఓన్లీ ప్యాషన్ కూడా సరిపోదు, రియల్లీ పిచ్ ఉండాలి, తెలుగులో పిచ్ అంటాము, దట్స్ మ్యాడ్ ఫర్ ఏ ఫిల్మ్ అయితేనే ఇది కుదురుతుంది, ఇంత చేయగలడం లేదా ఇంత అచీవ్ చేయగలడం అనేది. బట్ అయితే నాకు తెలిసిన అంటే ఒక 15 years బ్యాక్ దెర్ ఈజ్ నో వర్డ్ అంటే చాలామందికి తెలియని ఒక వర్డ్ ఏంటంటే పాన్ ఇండియా. నవ్ ఇట్స్ పాన్ ఇండియా. అప్పుడు అసలు అది లేనే లేదు. బట్ ఒక 15 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం మరి పాన్ ఇండియా అనేది లేనప్పుడే ఒక చిన్న మార్కెట్ని నమ్ముకుని మీరు హౌ డిడ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ దీస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ లార్జ్ స్కేల్ ఫిల్మ్?
We thought we were we were attempting the first of its kind in the country, because even in 2009 we always knew that we will make this film and we will release it in every market. And
you have that thought?
Yeah. And we already thought we already knew that we will have 5 language versions of the film, but that time we didn't know that we were supposed to call that pan India. There was no term called pan Indian films back then. Yeah, because even Bahubali had not happened then.
Yes,
so
yes.
even before that, in 2009 itself, Blessy and me thought, when this film is ready, this is how we will release it. But of course, in 2009, it was almost impossible to think of a film in this budget, this scale, this size, especially from Malayalam cinema. So it took us 10 years. It took us 10 years to be finally be able to, start rolling on the film, because that is when things changed about cinema, which is the reason I keep thanking Rajamouli sir and Bahubali franchise multiple times, because even for this film, you don't know how much Bahubali helped. That is the first film that actually, when we were talking to potential investors,
opened the doors to the world cinema.
Yeah, when we were talking to potential investors or studios, what we were trying to say for so many years, it started making all the more sense to them when Bahubali happened. Or like, oh, so we can actually make a film from one regional industry and then hope for it to be, accepted everywhere. So which is I keep saying, he showed us the way. Rajamouli sir showed us the way. Yeah.
Yes. Have you think that at the time of signing the film, it will take 15 years to release?
No. We thought Blessy and me thought, when we shook hands in 2009, we thought we'll be able to start shooting latest by 2011, and in 2 years, by 2013, we will finish the film, is what we thought.
But at that time also 2 years is a very...
2 years, I know, 2 years is a long commitment for a film, especially during that time, and more so from a Malayalam film industry point of view.
Yeah.
But like I said, it is not that this film grew in size as the years progressed.
Yes.
This was always envisioned like this, even in 2009. Blessy's vision for this film was always this big.
Yeah.
But 2 years was understandable, because I had to go through the transformation in between, and we had to go to the desert in 2 different seasons. So 2 years, though, I thought was reasonable, but didn't know it would eventually end up taking so long. Yeah.
Most of the Malayalam films got the English titles. Why it happens so, sir? Because as you are director for the films also, I am asking this question.
Most of the Malayalam films, I don't know. Not really. But there's a Malayalam film recently with a Telugu title called Premalu. This film we always knew needed to have a title, and then at least an English line that is sort of explaining the title when we hope that it will eventually start traveling internationally, so that there is an English title for people to associate it to. The English translation of the book is titled The Goat Days, which was what we first used to call the initial draft of the script. I think the script we sent you had Goat Days. Yeah.
Goat Days.
Yeah.
The same name of
we used to call the initial draft of the English script Goat Days. But then as we, came closer to finishing the film, again, it's when we started off, this GOAT acronym terminology I don't think it existed. Now it's become very common to use GOAT, greatest of all time, that acronym.
Yes.
When we started the film, that wasn't there, or if it was there.
I think it came right around the Kobe Bryant passing.
Yeah.
So it would have been after.
That association of GOAT and greatest of all time became more and more popular. We thought, it would be we can look at it not just as GOAT, the animal, but also greatest of all time. So if you look at it that way, rather than Days, Life would be a better title. The GOAT Life, the greatest of all time life, plus the whole association of the animal goat with his life in the desert. So all put together, we landed on the GOAT Life as an English title for the film.
Then in these 15 years of long journey of this film, what are the challenges that you have faced?
For the longest time of the journey, which is the 10 years before we could finally shoot, the struggle was to actually devise a way where this was possible. How can we pull off something of this size and this scale, and it is not all. It is not even one of those films that you can easily convince, let's say, a production house where it's not like, you know, it's action. It's not that also. But we knew that it was a mainstream film that people will resonate with.
Yes.
So for 10 years, that was a struggle. We had so many meetings, so many potential investors showing interest and then not being able to follow it up. Finally, when it came through and we finally found a way to do the film, we thought the struggles are over. Okay, now everything is set, we start shooting, and like we've always dreamt of it, in 2 years we finish shoot. But unfortunately, we started shoot and then, you know, the problems started because firstly, we thought we will put the set of the Masara, where the animals are all held, in Rajasthan, in Jaisalmer desert, so that at least that much portion is under our control. We can shoot in India, and then just for the escape portions of the desert, we will go abroad. But obviously, India does not have this breed of sheep and these camels. So we sort of went about devising a plan to import this livestock from Saudi Arabia to India for the shoot, and then after the shoot, we take it back in a container ship. But the permissions didn't come through. There were legal issues with livestock import and all that, and we had to give up on the idea. Then started the actual search of where can this film be shot, you know. And there were so many countries we visited, and we looked at Morocco, Tunisia, UAE, GCC, all the countries, Oman, Kuwait, and finally, you know, we landed up in Jordan, where everything came together. So, and then we started shoot, and then the pandemic happened. So the pandemic happened, and then the shoot had to be stopped for almost 1.5 years. So it was a big challenge. I don't know if another film, in my knowledge, at least in recent history, that has faced so many obstacles, yet managed to achieve what we set out to achieve with absolute zero compromise. I have read articles about the old Bollywood film called Mughal-e-Azam, where the director was like that, you know. So maybe after that, this is another story that future film lovers and cinephiles can discuss, like the Mughal-e-Azam story.
I have to say only one word, that's hats off.
Thank you.
Because if any other filmmaker other than Blissy and any other actor other than Prithviraj Sukumaran, I have think that if they have casted for this film, they will automatically shelve that one. And coming to Jimmy, on which basis you have selected your films?
Sometimes it could be a destination that I've not been to. That could be the factor for the decision. It could be the director that's attached to the project, could be the actor. It could be a different market that I want to explore. So really my choices are so wide and so different. You know, my choices are very different. And but from time to time you do find a beautiful script like this one. I mean, that, you know, those stories come, you know, once in a blue moon, you know what I mean? I've done stories in the past that I'm extremely proud of. I mean, one of them is a biopic about Toussaint Louverture, which is the man who gave Haiti its independence back in 1804. And
what's that film called?
It's called Toussaint Louverture.
Is there an English title to it?
That's the same name. That's the name. That's the same title.
I haven't seen footage from that.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. You know, it's a movie that speaks about the Haitian Revolution against Napoleon Bonaparte. So Haiti
shot
was
in French or Creole?
Shot in French and some Creole. We shot in France and in Martinique. But you know, Haiti being the first black republic to fight and win their independence in 1804, so it's a very important movie. So those kind of movies don't come around every day. So something like that, you know, maybe comes once in somebody's career. So yeah, when you find things like that, you're like, wow. Personally, I'm so happy to be part of this, just to be the supporting character of Najib or of Raj, you know. So it's yeah. For this one, I got lucky in so many ways. Locations were amazing. Talking about Wadi Ram in Algeria, the quality of the movie is amazing, and the story that we're telling is a great story. So, you know.
That's why you accepted this movie. You had done this one.
The first reason was the location.
I think
the first reason was the locations, and then because you guys were, I mean, it took me a long time to get the full script. It was like lines by lines, like just my portion. I read my portion and I'm like, yeah, it's interesting, but it doesn't give me the whole thing. So I needed to keep digging to get more material.
I have to take part responsibility for it, because starting from 2009, we had reached out to many actors, from that time to this time, and we used to keep sending what was the full draft, on email or sometimes, and some agents would revert back with a yes or a no, or we are interested. Some agents would never revert back. After a point, we realized, oh my God, the entire script of the film has gone out to so many email addresses that maybe it's not a great idea.
Someone
the
script and they will make it.
Then I started instructing everyone, the team, that we'll just send out that, and if they're showing interest, then
So that's how it was, like a little game like that. That happened for a few weeks, and then eventually I realized that it was actually a grand movie, that I was going to be part of. So I was extremely happy for that.
Yes. So after Salar, most of the people remember you as Varadaraj Mannar. But I'm sure after releasing of this Goat Life, many of the people call you as Nazeeb.
It would be a privilege if people watch a film of mine and they tend to associate me with that one character because they've been so influenced or moved by the character. It's a privilege for me. Like when I landed in Hyderabad yesterday, I realized that as I walk out of the airport, everybody now calls me Varada, which is great,
But not the Prithviraj. No. What is your original name? Actually, Varadaraj Mannar gives you a different image throughout the audience of India, the pan-Indian audience, and it also gives you one friend. That's called Prabhas.
Yes.
We call him as darling.
Yeah.
Bonding between you and Prabhas, how it like?
Prabhas is extremely good with people. He is very, very one of those genuinely nice guys that he really likes to host people.
Yeah.
But it started off as that, like, he was with me the way he is with everyone. Like when I'm shooting on Salar sets, he would be like, would you like some food? Can I send over some food? And that he does to everyone. Yes. But then I think we spend so much time together and we spoke on so many things on cinema and all. Now we have we are friends now. So when I'm in Hyderabad, if he's in town, I'll definitely hang out with him. So
Okay, have you met Prabhas here?
Yeah, of course I have.
Yes. Have you invited him to see your movie, at least?
No,
not
I'll
promoting
show him the film. I'll show him the film. In fact, he wanted to see, but I'll definitely show him the film. Yeah.
But most of the people talking about the hospitality that Prabhas has offered for the others. So especially the food.
Yeah.
So have you tasted any of the dishes which you have ever tasted before? Because he is famous for that.
Yeah, with Prabhas, it's incredible. So I don't even remember how much food I've eaten, because every other day he'll send some 20 different dishes, and they're never the same also. Like
every day.
He will be the happiest person if I go and tell Prabhas, I'm here in Hyderabad for the next 35 days. I don't want to eat hotel food for 35 days. I want breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He'll be the happiest person, and it will come also. I know that. Like yesterday, I was at his place and he fed me this special halim, which halim I've had before, but I forgot the name also. I've not had that kind of halim before. Yeah.
So actually, all the people of India are waiting for the Salar Part 2 to witness the ruthless Varadaraj Mannar. When will the shoot happen?
Very soon. We are starting in weeks.
In weeks also. So have you take any of the special inputs for the shoot and that mean makeover of the film?
You already know what Varadaraj Mannar will look like in the second part, because in part 1, when Varadaraj Mannar is introduced, he's already the king of Khansar. So that is where you will get to in part 2. So the appearance wise, you already know what he will look like. But much like we have said in part 1, Salar 2 is about how did two of the closest friends become the worst of enemies, and that is the story of Khansar, So that is what you will get to see in part 2.
Yeah. For this film, A.R. Rahman is the music that have provided. From one song from this is Periyore song is there, no?
Periyone song and with the Hope song, which is a promo song. We have videos for both those songs featuring Rahman sir himself.
Yes.
Yeah. Periyone song, video of the Periyone song featuring Rahman sir was an idea that came about when he said he will come to our location.
Yes.
So he wanted to come and see the place and understand and feel what it really meant to be there. So he was with us in Jordan, in Wadiram, for 3-4 days when we were shooting there. And it was during that trip that the idea came about that if he's coming here, then we should do a video like this. And he agreed to the idea, and that's how we shot the video. The Hope song was something that came about after really seeing the footage and feeling what the film was about. It was as much A.R. Rahman's idea. That he said that the film is so much about hope that I think I want to do a song on that and make it like a tribute video. So that was mostly his idea.
Your previous film Salari is released by the Maitri movie makers, and now it is also going to be released by the Maitri movie makers.
Yes.
So how it felt, and what are the promise they have made regarding this release of this film?
When this film was made, even before, like I said, even before this all pan India and all came about, we were very keen that when this film is eventually made, we have to release it properly all over the country and all over the world. So I was very keen that this film should be distributed by the market leaders in every region. Maitri movie makers, Ravi Garu and all, thankfully I know them personally. When the film got ready, I just made one phone call and told Garu that this is a passion project, and I told him how this film got made. And I said I'd like Maitri to release it, and the same phone call he said, done sir. So I'm hugely thankful, I'm very, very grateful to Maitri Movies for showing the faith, for showing the trust. And I hope it does really well in the Telugu version. We have really taken efforts to make sure that each of the versions are as good as we can make it. I've dubbed in all the languages. Thanks to Maitri that it will get a very good release in Andhra and Telangana.
Yeah, the trailer has itself promises that this is not the film that made out of passion. You and Blessis are and the entire cast and crew of the film, you are putting your blood and heart and soul to the film.
Yeah.
That's why the film is coming like that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a giant effort.
Yes.
All films have their own stories and efforts and everything behind it, but I will be immodest enough to claim that for this one particular film, it is not just like any other film in terms of the amount of time and effort and money and the amount of time of each person's life that has gone into this film, like say for example Blessy or myself.
Conviction for these many years.
Yeah, so that does make this a very special piece of art, at least for me. So
yes, but one thing I want to know, in the entire trailer of the film, there is only one dialogue is there, no?
Yeah.
So why it has to be, and the dialogues of the film?
So I mean, it also in a larger picture sort of tells you the kind of film that this is. It's not a very verbose film.
Yeah.
It's not a film where there's a lot of talking happening. Yeah. Because at one point after you've been shown who Najib was before he reached the desert and his flashback in Kerala and all that, where there are a lot of people talking to each other, then the film largely becomes about this man, the desert, the animals, and really doesn't have any language after that.
Yeah.
And even with the journey that Najib and Ibrahim Khadri make together, Najib's language he doesn't understand, and his language Najib does not understand.
Yes.
And it's very interesting that these two men make this journey across these really harsh terrain and circumstances through the desert. It's a journey that they make together, but it is also a journey on their own.
Yes.
So that's a very interesting sort of dynamic between the two characters. So like what I mean to say is, after a point, the film is not about language, it is not about lines, which is why we thought the trailer cut should also be very light on dialogues and language in itself. Yeah.
Yes. In this film, the female lead is Amala Paul.
Yeah.
Is there any specific reason to cast her, or generally?
Amala is a good actor. That's the first reason, of course.
Yeah.
And plus, we wanted somebody who looked like that way for Sainu. We wanted somebody who was very beautiful in a very Kerala kind of a way, Amala's okay. Now she's taking a break from cinema because she's pregnant and she's about to have a baby. But otherwise, Amala is a very popular actor.
After OTT is coming into the play and it coming into the limelight, the span of the cinema is reduced. అంటే ఒక సినిమా థియేటర్స్లో ఉండడం అనే టైం తగ్గిపోయింది బాగా when OTT come into the play.
Yeah.
But why people has to come to the theaters to experience goat life అంటే ఏం చెప్తారు?
Yeah. So firstly, Goat Live is not going to come to any OTT in the usual window. It's not going to come as quickly as that.
Yes.
Secondly, see, there are films that are made to be watched in a big screen, And more than the size of the screen, community viewing experience in itself it presents a completely different dynamic. When you're in a dark hall with 500,000 other people who you don't know, and you are being taken through the same emotional journey together, it's a different experience. I think Goat Life is a film that needs to be seen and experienced in such a shared community with a lot of people watching it together. And then there are other kinds of films where it lends itself better to a very personal viewing experience, just you and the screen. I'll never claim that one is superior to the other or the other is inferior to the other. There are two different kinds of films. Goat Life for sure is a theatrical film.
Yeah, it's such a cinematic
experience.
movie, so you need that journey. It's like June or Avatar. Those movies, you need to see them in a big screen.
మీరు చెప్పిన విషయాలన్నీ విన్న తర్వాత మాకు అనిపిస్తుంది ఏంటంటే March 28th we have to go to the first show for this film and have experienced the Goat Life.
Thank you so much.
Yes, wish you all the best for both of you and the entire cast and crew of the film.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.